Duplex that put almost $250,000 in my pocket is the exact same building where I had to write a $10,000 check to a tenant's attorney. The same roof, the same address, except like a side A and a side B. One side of this thing was actually pumping out cash. The other side dragged me into this lawsuit, which would have just derailed most people and scared most people away, but it didn't. And by the end of this video, I'm gonna tell you exactly what you're looking for. And if you're considering like single family home or a duplex purchase, I got you. And so you're probably thinking like, how do I start with analyzing a good deal versus a money pit or any nightmares or whatever you're thinking right now? And which one you walk away with almost has nothing to do with the building and it has everything to do with you. And real quick about me, I've played this game with my own money. I bought my first multifamily at 21 years old, and then pretty much everything I ever talk about with any of my videos, me and my wife have done this within the past couple of years, all the way from our first fourplex to the next one, to the couple duplexes in the middle. There's a couple condos that fell in our laps, all the way to our single family home. And we continue to buy more doors over and over again. And so I talk about all this on my socials, on my short form, but I've essentially walked hundreds of people through this just like you. And I'm pretty sure I've helped more people run the multifamily play in Alaska than anyone else. And so none of this is a theory I pulled out of a book. It's like the stuff that I actually learned, and then I will teach my son. And here's this nugget for you. Like, I had wished somebody had drawn this out for me from the beginning. And in the next 8 minutes, you'll be able to watch this video, and then you'll be able to look at a duplex and know pretty fast which side of the line you're gonna fall on, whether it's gonna drain a bunch of your money. But first, let's kill the confusion. A duplex is just two little homes under one roof. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. It's typically one address, sometimes two sets of property bills, but definitely two families living there. Usually two front doors, two backyards, two garages. Essentially the same stuff you picture in a house, but two. That's it. The easiest way to think about it is you're buying a house with a built-in tenant. You live on your side, someone else lives on theirs. And every month that person hands you a rent check that goes towards your mortgage. That's it. That's essentially what's going on. That's the scary investment term everyone overthinks. What I'm about to say generally goes unsaid. Buying a duplex and living in one side is not a cash flow play. Really hear me out here. Let me almost say that again, because it's really important. While you live there, you are not making money every month. Like, you are not cash flowing positive cash flow every month. Why? Because you're living in half the building. You're taking up half of that asset's resources. So what you can't assume that you'll just be positive. You gave up half the income the moment you are moved into the property. So anyone promising you cash or living for free from day one is either lying to you or doesn't really understand how these deals work. And right now is a good time to draw a line in the sand, because there's only two versions in which you will ever buy a real estate asset. Owner occupied, which means you live there, and an investor. You don't live there. That's it. That's the big difference. But that difference is important, because owner occupied, this is where you get the low interest rates, the low down payments, the first time home buyers, cute and cozy. This is a building block. Investors, not a low down payment, not a cute little interest rate. You're in the big boy game and you're running a business. The people who I speak to are not millionaires yet. They're on their way. And so the conversations that I essentially have, without saying it, this is all assuming owner occupancy, which is really common for people to get into like a duplex or a fourplex on their first purchase and not have like a housing expense. While you live there, you will be out of pocket in most cases. You're just gonna be way less out of pocket than if you were to buy a regular home. On a house, you have that payment, right? It's all on you to make. But with the duplex, you got the rent coming in and it's helping the monthly payment, and it's chipping away at that, hence less out of your pocket. That's the play, that's the hack, that's the benefit. The cash flow isn't really the real money anyway, it's the stuff underneath. And there's essentially 4 ways that any piece of real estate makes you money. And I wanna help you envision it. And so I want you to picture, to like divide your screen, your mental thought process about it into 4 different quadrants. One is cash flow. Yep, definitely there, but probably later if you're owner occupying it. The day you move out and the rent covers the mortgage, then you get to pocket the difference, you're good to go. My duplex puts about $1,000 a month in our pocket now that we're out of it. And by the way, that's forever. That's income that you're gonna be getting forever. And generally that number also goes up over time because of rent inflation. Second quadrant here is like principal pay down. Every single month, your tenant chips away at the loan for you. You own the asset, but someone else pays for it, right? It's like buying a car and someone else pays it off while you drive it. Every month, forever, someone's paying it off until it's gone, right? The third quadrant down here is gonna be taxes. The second you own this thing, you're officially an investor, and the tax code treats owners completely different than it treats workers. You unlock a new piece of paper on your taxes that shelters your income, gives you write-offs, gives you all sorts of depreciation. It's like a whole new menu altogether that regular employees never get to see. That's just the tax structure. It's called your Schedule E. And number 4 down at the bottom is appreciation. And that building grows up in value little by little while you sleep. In the same duplex I'm talking about, I bought mine for about $425,000. It's worth about $550,000 today. Add up all together, I think we got like $150,000 spread on there in equity that we're gonna use to do something else later. Now, add up all that up on one duplex, and my total out of pocket for this thing was about $19,154 out of my pocket to acquire that duplex. All in, that single building has changed my life by close to $250,000, and we've owned it only like 4 years. That's an example of a good deal. Now, let me show you the money pit, because this is the opposite, and this is where most people get wrecked. The money pit is almost never bad luck. It's a self-inflicted wound that generally gets deeper the longer you ignore it. And it comes down to 4 big decisions. Every single one of them is in your hands. Decision 1 is your agent. Most people think of the listing price is the listing price, and it's not in the multifamily world. I mean, it can be, but it's not the only mechanism that means something major. Like a person that knows what they're doing, an agent that has run this play, who has actually run these deals, negotiates terms that move every number that comes after that, including your interest. And in 2025, my team and I closed the most amount of volume out of any lender in Alaska. Like, we work with a lot of people. Trust me when I tell you that not all agents are cut from the same cloth. Decision number 2 is the rent. Not the rent today, real rent, the market rent. Landlords get old, fat, and lazy. That's just what wealth does. So most buildings are under rented by nature, and a unit pulling in $1,000 today might actually be worth $1,500 on the actual market. That could be like the going price. And if you don't catch that gap before you buy or go shopping, all your math is skewed downstream, and the math is a lie. So your agent is your source of truth, and knowing them and that answer is important. Hence rule number 1. You have control over that income. You can fix the place up. You can rent out individual rooms in your duplex. You can run the flight crew play where you advertise monthly beds to flight crews near the airport. You can run an Airbnb on the other side. Like, there are options, and for real estate will forever be flexible in that regard, because roof over your head is something that everyone needs, and it's not going away anytime soon. And decision number 3 is the tenant screening. This is the single biggest risk lever that you can pull, and it's 100% in you. Like, you're in charge of it. Credit scores, bank statements, background checks, like, they can look perfect on the surface but be a complete disaster behind the curtain. And almost every real regret I've had in this business came from skipping this or not being the guy that actually does it. And decision number 4 is deferred maintenance. So this is the number 1 ingredient in the actual money pit. That runny little toilet does not fix itself, and water actually ends up costing a lot. It gets worse. Water belongs in one place only, and that's inside the pipes. Fix the small stuff fast, because you forget about it, you'll get busy, and it'll multiply. And so you're not just accidentally going to pick up a money pit unless you're actually trying to run that play or like run a rehab play. There's too many checks and balances through the home inspection, the appraiser, plus all the people that walk through it or during the showings or whatnot. The biggest lever is not understanding the deal, the terms, the real rent, the due diligence with the tenants, the leak, and all of them sit in your hands. The faster you can solve the problem, the faster it goes away. Because here's what actually happened on that $250,000 duplex I opened with. I had bought the building and inherited a tenant. Kind of a messy person from day one. There wasn't enough really going wrong for me to really be worried about it. She trashed her unit on the way out. Not like deliberately trashed, but just zero wipe down. Just totally gross on the way out. And I had a 30-day window to like handle her deposit, the contractors, the invoicing, all the paperwork right away. And we had just had a baby. Lenny was like a month or 2 old, and so like lots of timelines were missed. This was one of them. I had a 30-day window to get her the stuff. Midnight on day 31, she sent a text. She'd clearly pre-written and preloaded and had it ready. Like, this was a long one. I had to hand the deposit back And I had already poured about 10 grand into fixing what was messed up, like the countertops were melted. And so I cut a check to my attorney, we settled, and the number landed a little bit higher than what I wanted it to. Nonetheless, here's what actually mattered. That's a lot of money. But writing that check wasn't that hard. Not because the money is nothing, it's definitely stings, but it was easy because the deal underneath of it was so strong. Whatever strength gets built before you even sign. It's in the due diligence. This is the part where all the hype guys skip, because this isn't really meant for everyone. People's livelihoods are under your umbrella. If things get bad enough, chances are you're probably gonna get a call eventually and you're gonna have to sort something out, right? Honestly, it's rare. Like in 10 years, this never happened to me, but if you are ready, two things are probably true. It means you've got a decent track record of paying other people back, meaning your credit is like okay at least, and you've got somewhere around $15,000 to $30,000 sitting in the bag, ready to deploy depending on the price, depending on where you live. And if you're a veteran, good news, you need exactly $0 to run this play. And I explain more of that here. In fact, I over-explained it here. But if you're not there yet, don't force it. Build the reserves, build the credit, save this video, come back to it when those things are done. The real estate market is like a train. It just keeps on rolling, slow and steady. And the sooner you climb on, the further it takes you. So if you've got the credit and you've got some money to work with or can access some money to work with, your next move is pretty simple. Speak to a lender. Any lender can structure a loan. What you're looking for is someone who's run this play, knows how the tax structure works, and can help you through that. And if you're in Alaska, I'd love to work with you. Link down in the bio. But it's a simple yes or no answer. It's not as scary as most people make it out to be, like some kind of financial maze. Like, it's important, the details matter, but you turn in your paperwork and you usually hear back the same day or the next day. And once you've got the first duplex or fourplex working for you, most people don't stop there. That's just level one of the leverage ladder that I talk about. And the next video here is going to actually show you the next move that you do. But anyways, you go grab a fourplex, live in one unit, let the 3 cover your entire mortgage, that whole thing of like rent 3, live for free. That's in the next video. I'll show you how that ladder works. I'll see you there.